What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about ZORA today. ZORA. It is the 13th day of November, and here we are at about 6.1 cents with 8 hours left in the day. It's nice to see that ZORA's up about 12% on the day so far, but it's not as nice as it could have been, is it? Whenever considering yesterday, from yesterday's low to today's high, we were up 36% overall. So kind of bittersweet being up like 11.5% now. I am under the impression that we might have slightly lower lows to go. We actually very well could go below yesterday's low, but with the immense buying pressure that's taking place today, it is possible that we have found the low. I certainly did not expect that we'd go this low. This area we were anticipating, but this lower low and even lower than that, I wasn't originally expecting. But if we look at this here from a low to a high, the low on the 30th of September to the high on the 10th of October there, we have gone below the golden ratio, which typically this is not an area that you find support at. It's either in this zone or it's at the 786 or the 886 or somewhere in between in this zone. But you don't typically find support in this area, at least not lasting support. So my thought would be that we do go to about 5.23 cents. I want to look at the short-term stuff, the 1 hour indicators, the 4 hour indicators, and then I want to zoom back out and just see if we can collectively gather that we are in fact going down to this level, or are we finding support here and moving higher? It's unorthodox. It's weird to find support here, but it can happen. It's not impossible. I mean, let's just see. Maybe this fib, it doesn't make sense, but what about this fib? What about this? This would be a more significant fib, by the way. It kind of makes sense to find support right there, to be completely fair. It kind of makes a lot of sense to find support right there. But let's look at the short-term stuff. We'll zoom out from there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. And yeah, let's just get into it, okay? 8 hours left in the day here. 1 hour time frame. If we're looking at this right now, you can see clearly that not only are we moving down rather tenaciously, but volume's actually picking up too as we're moving lower. To be fair, with the last hour that we just closed, volume did die off a little bit, and maybe we are getting ready to find support. If we look here from a low to a high, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, we're right at the golden ratio zone, so it makes a lot of sense that we might find support right here momentarily. Move up to about 6.34 cents to 6.6 cents, somewhere up here, find resistance, and then move down. That's my expectation, okay? But and we could find resistance right here, we could find resistance right here, we could find resistance anywhere in between. It truly is a zone, or I mean it could be respected as a direct line of resistance as well, being at the 0.5 or the 382. I do believe we'll go up to this area, find resistance, and then come down. But if I'm wrong, if instead we move higher, if instead we move up to about, oops, let's say 6.88, 6.9 cents, if we move up there, if we can close a 4 hour time frame above 6.9 cents, I would very thoroughly believe that we have found the low. So in other words, if we go from here to closing a 4 hour time frame or higher time frame above the red line, then likely the low is in and we are moving higher. My concerns of a lower low are just not accurate. And that's fine. That's totally fine. We'll know ahead of time, right? Again, the reversal point, the invalidation point for my idea of us going lower would be at 0.069. 6.9 cents, okay? Looking at the indicators now, and let's actually look at this real quick too, hold on. If we do go lower, 5 cents to 4.5 cents, does that line up with our 786 level? Low here to a high there. No, it's a little bit below there. Interesting thoughts. Okay, 1 hour time frame. The RSI is selling off a little bit, looks bearish here. You are, I suppose, right at an area to bounce, though, to find support right there at the 40. So you really could find support right here. Stochastics are bearish, absolutely. And the MACD, it's not bearish. It's actually bullish overall, but it's the 1 hour time frame. It's a little less significant. And on top of that, you could come lower to find support at the 0, still maintain a bullish posturing overall, but still provide lower prices. None of these indicators suggest that we go below this low, but they would all suggest that we have lower to go. Okay, that's just like lower than where we are now. They're not necessarily suggesting that we go lower than this low. They might be, but lower than where we are now. 4 hour time frame, zooming in or zooming out a little bit, looking at this. Now this is where things get a little dicey because the MACD did cross above the 0. We found a little bit of resistance, and now we're back up here. Typically in this situation, I would expect that you go, but with Bitcoin kind of sucking today, and with the rest of the market as well doing that, might you sell off, right? Like if Bitcoin goes below 100K again, and Ethereum drops below 3,300 or 3,200 or whatever, if it goes below $3,000 even, what might ZORA do? ZORA might go lower. That'd just be my thought there. The stochastics suggest that we go lower. and the RSI rejecting the overbought zone is not a good look in itself. It suggests we go lower. I really do think that this was just a one-off. There are a lot of people who have had their eyes on ZORA, and ZORA's been very deceitful, right? We were very, very proactive about calling for not buying ZORA at any of these prices that were above 8 cents. We were telling everybody, just stay away, stay away. If you want to buy, that's fine. Long term, it'll come in, but just you might have to sit through some pain first. But very adamant about that, right? We've been very proactive about saying it's a good time to buy now. But there's probably a lot of people out there who have had their eyes on ZORA since this whole event of this massive pump, right? The 10th of October was a very traumatizing day for all of crypto except for Zcash and ZORA, and I think everybody's aware of that. Whenever you see a coin like this, it's at a low point, you have the opportunity to buy, but then it's up 40% in a day. You just might FOMO the top and be like, screw it, I'll buy here because I know. You start doing your measurements. You're like, I believe it's going to see new all-time highs. So even though I'm buying the high, I'm going to get 100% pump from here. And that's still true. Even if you bought the top today, it's still true. You might be hearing me say this and you're like, how do you know what I was thinking? It's because we're all the same, man. We all think the same. A lot of people probably thought, okay, it just broke out. I'm going to buy here. It was a fake out. It was a psyop, just like all of this. And now we're going to shake out the weak hands. Okay, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. But if you bought at any of these moments, it's definitely not a good time to sell now, and it definitely won't be a good time to sell if we hit lower lows, right? I am forecasting lower lows, but that doesn't mean that it happens, right? You wouldn't, even if I bought up here, or if I bought this top right here, or I bought right here and I was forecasting lower lows, I wouldn't sell here because the odds of us going higher, I shouldn't say that, the prospect of us going higher far outweighs any kind of lower prospects that we have. Like this move is so insignificant to the downside compared to what we have going forward. So don't be worried about selling. Don't be worried about the price going down. Just worry about buying and holding. That's my thoughts for this. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, just the thoughts of some dude who's sitting in front of his guitars and in his desk area here in his house. By the way, I've got Christmas lights. You can't really see them, but they're all, I can't bend the camera up that far, but they're all around the house. I went through and did that myself, actually, with the help of my father-in-law too. But anyways, let's see here, get that going. There we go. Okay, so where were we at? Besides sharing personal stuff, we were on the 4-hour time frame, and we concluded that everything was bearish except the MACD. But to be fair, in times like this where you're moving sideways, the MACD is less reliable. So, bearish it is. Lower prices we go. And the 4-hour time frame looking like this, I think does imply that we go lower than these lows. I think it does. The 1 hour doesn't, but the 4 hour does. And then this huge, massive wick today on the daily time frame. Look at this. We had bullish divergence. Nice play overall. Look at the RSI here. You see how there's this low and then it bounces right here? The only reason why this V exists like this at all is because of this day right here, because it's green. If in the next 7 hours and 51 minutes we come down and this day closes red, you actually will not have a bounce off the oversold zone here. You'll actually have a lower low. You actually will have a lower low. So just be aware of that, okay? Just because the day's green now doesn't mean that it'll close green. And even if we do close green, imagine we do close green here today or higher. We'll have a higher high in the RSI while maintaining a lower high in the price, at least on the closing perspective. That's hidden bearish divergence. And you've got this bullish divergence to look, but you've already made the move. It's really hidden bearish divergence. It likely does promote lower prices, okay? Stochastics are bearish, looking to be bullish, but bearish probably. A little bit of bullish divergence on the MACD. That's nice. You're definitely set up to move higher, ZORA, and we're going to talk about the exciting stuff to the upside here pretty soon. But I do think you go lower first, okay? If I'm right, 0.0523 to 0.0468, somewhere in that range. Most likely the 786 directly, if not a slight price below that. And then from there we start to recover. If I'm wrong, get any given day, it could be today, tomorrow, the next day, whatever, any day before you go below this low. If I'm wrong, any day that closes above the golden ratio proves me wrong. Now again, the word that I used there was close. You have to close above 6.3 cents. I don't care if you wick, and neither does the price. None of these wicks have mattered. It's when you close. I think it's clear that the very important thing to do is close above 6.3 cents. You could be all the way up here, but if there's 12 hours left in the day, we could pull back, and that's exactly what we did. So I want to see a close above here before I get excited, right? And I would be excited. I would be very excited to be proven wrong. But whether I'm proven right, whether I'm proven wrong, whatever it is, at the end of the day, once we get above 6.3 cents on a daily closing basis, closing on the day above 6.3 cents, to be very clear, painfully clear, once we see that, we should see rapid expansion to new all-time highs. And the new all-time highs that I would expect are coming in the form of 21 cents to 32 cents or higher. Okay, 21 cents, 32 cents. I wouldn't be surprised, it is the 13th of November. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this month we were at new all-time highs. Going into December, we're looking for something around 32 cents and beyond. Like, we could be all the way up above $1 by the end of this year of 2025, genuinely. ZORA has a lot of potential. And if that seems crazy to you, might I just remind you of how crazy of a move we had back here, okay? We go on a weekly time frame. Delete all these. That was in, 1, 2, 3 weeks, mainly 4, 5, 6 weeks. We've got about 6 weeks left in this year. We could see a move just like this from here. We really could. That takes us all the way above $1. It's quite possible. I don't think that we get to $1.17 by the end of 2025, but I do believe we'll be somewhere between 32 cents to, let's say, $1 by the end of 2025. I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Be patient. Be patient. And what I will say is this too. I like ZORA. I'm invested in ZORA. I would buy more, and I would have no problem buying here. If you're wondering, is it a good time to buy, and you just want to buy anyways, you wanted to buy up here, but you didn't, you felt like you missed the chance, and now it's back down here, and you feel like it's an opportunity to buy, you're not with me in thinking that it goes to lower lows, cool. There's no guarantee that we see lower lows. So if you buy here, that's fine. In fact, I would say that if you've bought at all over the past week, hell, even if you bought this high, you're probably okay. Just don't sell the low, okay? Just hold, hold. If you're okay with sitting through a little bit of pain, yes, I think it's okay to buy, right? If you're not okay with sitting through pain, that's okay. You don't have to buy. You can wait until you get that lower low, but that's not promised, again, right? A lot of people wait and anticipate that they'll get a lower low, but then they miss the actual low point, and then the move happens anyways, and you're just waiting for that extra little 15 to 20% drop in the midst of what will be likely hundreds of percents of growth. So don't get greedy, right? If you want to buy, just buy, but hold, right? Don't let me stop you. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, though. With all that being said, I do expect lower lows. I do expect we'll go below 6 cents again. We'll probably even go below like 5 cents, or at least somewhere around there, okay? Take care. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.